Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Jimmy Carter, 39th President of the United States. President Carter is escorted today.
Upon commissioning of USS Jimmy Carter, report for duty as commanding officer. Signed, Rear Admiral Towns, Deputy Chief of Naval Personnel. Admiral Walsh, United States ship Jimmy Carter is in commission and I have assumed command.
Very well.
Executive Officer, set the first watch.
Aye, sir. Officer deck, set the watch.
Aye, sir.
The officer of the deck is the commanding officer's direct representative, and while on watch is responsible for the safety and smooth operation of the ship and the crew. The long glass is the traditional symbol of an officer of the deck's authority in the ship of the line. We are honored to have President Carter here with us today, who will pass the long glass to the ship's navigator, Lieutenant Stephen Carpy, our first officer of the deck.
Good morning, everybody. I was thinking last night about a question I want to ask the entire group. How many of you have had your personal life affected by Admiral Hyman Rickover? Raise your hand. Let me correct those who did not raise their hand. It's very likely that every human being who lives in the United States of America, and perhaps even in other nations, have had their lives directly affected by the work and the dreams and the vision of Admiral Hyman Rickover, who saw, under the most difficult possible personal circumstances and professional circumstances when he was a Navy officer, the opportunity for the atom to be split for peaceful purposes. Rosalynn and I were delighted when I was president and finally came ostensibly to be his senior officer. He never felt that way, and neither did I. But we went out with him on the Los Angeles, and he mentioned, and not particularly typical modesty, that his ships propelled by nuclear power, if placed end to end, would be 12 miles long. And never at that time, nor till today, has there been a nuclear accident that caused an injury to a human being or released atomic radiation that might injure anyone. And it's his legacy that has truly affected the lives of every person on earth. This morning, on his behalf, I would like to ask Mrs. Hyman Rickover to stand. Eleanor, would you please stand? I'm going to ask two more groups to stand. The second one are my classmates at the U.S. Naval Academy and their families. Would you all stand? It might take a few minutes for all of them to stand. Thank you for being patient. They can't all just immediately leap to their feet. And this is a good opportunity for me to thank Stansfield Turner for what he had to say. I might point out that when I received intelligence briefings from Stan Turner, who was in charge of every aspect of Americans' intelligence, there was never any inaccuracy, there was never any confusion, and our country had the utmost quality of intelligence under his leadership, and I want to thank Stan Turner for that. And the last group I want to stand are all my own kinfolks, and along with them, the people who served with me when I was in Washington. Would you all stand just a moment? Thank you very much. Well, I happen to have a personal affinity for this ship and the captain and the crew. I have been reminded recently of my time in the Navy. I received my dolphins. I pinned the dolphins on a sailor on the Jimmy Carter yesterday. I was on an old fleet-type submarine in the Pacific during the Korean War, and that's when I first got my qualifications as a submariner. Later, here in New London, I was the first officer assigned to the first ship the Navy built after the Second War, the K-1, and I qualified to command submarines here. And just a few months later, while the senior officer on the crew that was building the USS Seawolf, the second atomic-powered submarine, I came here to watch President Harry Truman as the keel was laid on the USS Nautilus. So my background and my interest, my commitment, my dedication and appreciation to the Navy is deep and everlasting. I believe that this ship exemplifies the finest aspect of the work of electric boat. I was here as the only officer when they built the K-1 in ancient times, 53 years ago. I don't hate to admit it even. But Rosa and I, in the last few years, have watched the miracle of design and engineering as the SSN Jimmy Carter has begun to come to life. I've been honored in my life to be the governor of a great state. I've been honored in my life to be president of the greatest nation in the world. I've been honored since then as part of the Carter Center for our work for peace around the world. But the most deeply appreciated and emotional honor I've ever had is to have this great ship bear my name. I'm proud of the ship. I'm proud of Captain Kelso. I'm proud of all the officers and men who will serve there, because I know that their dedication is to use its extraordinary capabilities, many top secret, to preserve peace, to protect our country, and to keep high the banner of human rights around the world. On behalf of me and my wife, let me express my deepest possible appreciation. Thank you very much.